again to another episode of the Code Live with Google Cloud live stream. My name is Mark Mandel. I, amongst several things, tech lead developer relations for gaming on Google Cloud. But that's not important. You know what's so important? I guess today, Olivier, do you want to introduce yourself and say hello?
Hi, my name is Olivier. I'm on the GKE developer relations team in Google Cloud. And I'm going to be looking at LLM's function calling and seeing if we can make that all work out hosted on GKE.
That sounds like fun. It should be an interesting time. Cool. Do we want to talk a little bit about function calling in general and what that actually means, or do you want to just kind of dive right in? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about it. Man, I don't know where I'm supposed to look. So I've got this.
Look wherever you feel
I've
right.
got
It's
this
fine.
setup. I've got this setup where I'm using my laptop webcam, which is working fine. It looks
Cool.
like I look fantastic on there.
Yeah.
But it's down here on my desk. But I've got the streaming service on my big monitor, which is up here.
That's fine.
And so I'm either looking into nothing, but you are looking at me, or I'm looking at the audience. But then everyone is just looking at nothing.
That's fine. Exactly.
We'll figure it out.
Exactly.
So function calling. How early do we start? Let's say we have the assumption that we know what LLMs are.
Okay, that seems like a good assumption. Let's start with that.
Yeah, good assumption.
Yeah.
And so with an LLM model, if you've got a model that you have the ability to chat to it,
yep.
One issue that you encounter fairly early on is noticing that the model doesn't quite have up-to-date information on the world or anything else, right?
Right.
So you can ask something that happened 5 years ago, and it will probably have a good idea of what happens. But if you ask, say, what is the current weather in the city that I'm located right this moment?
Right.
One of two things is probably going to happen. It's either going to tell you that it doesn't know because it's just an LLM.
I'm just an LLM.
Right. Or and that's arguably a little bit worse. Or it's going to invent something and say,
which is even further worse.
Exactly, right? It's like I would rather you tell me, like, if you don't know, just tell me you don't know, right? And so one of these two things is going to happen. And that makes sense because LLM models have been trained over a set amount of data, training data, and that amount of training data ends probably before today, unless it was recently trained. And by recent, I mean like this morning or something like that. And so that's the only sort of contextual information that the LLM has. So one thing you might be asking is, well, if I go on a Gemini web application and I type, "What is the weather today in my city?" it will reply with the weather. And so how does it do that?
Right.
And so there's a little bit of magic behind the scene that you're not seeing. And so what happens there is that that LLM in particular, so the Gemini chat app, has been trained to notice when someone asking for something particular matches one of a variety of tools or functions that it knows about.
So we might tell it like, hey, if somebody asks about the weather, then go over to this function and go ask it what the current weather is based on the information you've received or something like that.
Exactly. So you can think of it like a router of some sort.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Instead of routing, web addresses, it routes with where certain information should go to. And so it's a sort of a multi-step process where you have that LLM model, and you start by asking it a query like, what is the weather? And then the first step is parsing that query and determine if that query would be better served by one of the variety of tools or function that this model knows about.
Yeah.
And if it does, then it routes it towards that direction, and it asks a function or a tool to better answer the user query. And then the output of that function comes back to the LLM for processing it into like a human formatted output.
Okay. All right. So what does that look like?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot. Maybe it makes more sense if we
start doing some code.
Type it out.
All right, let's do it.
Cool.
Throw your screen up.
Yeah, I can do that. If I can find my mouse, that's step one.
That would be useful.
Mouse have been found.
Fantastic. Good. Okay. Oh, I like it. We're like we haven't what's the word? Like nothing to see here. We don't have a cake prepared earlier.
Well, I mean, I sort of do in the sense that I did create this requirements text file.
Okay, fair enough. That's it. That's a good start at least.
Literally 10 minutes ago.
Okay, that's fine. Good start.
And the reason why is because I didn't want to spend like 10 minutes chasing around like what is the latest version of this package. Totally
fair.
And so I do have this, although I don't think I ran this. So I guess the first thing here, while I go find where I put my terminal, I think it's hidden here. Oh, it is hidden. Okay,
there it is. There we go.
There you go. So first things first, I'm just gonna go ahead and install these requirements. It's gonna take a second, so okay. I can talk about what's in this list at the same time.
Yeah, what's in the list we got here? I see LangChain is something I've definitely seen in a few places, but people may not be familiar.
Yeah. Okay. So the first and the last one is this Flask and a request. So I was planning on using Flask just to serve various endpoints.
So Flask is an HTTP framework or library or something?
Exactly. Exactly. Cool. There's no particular reason I'm using it other than just I'm a little bit more familiar with it. So that's cool. What I'm going to use here. There are tons of alternatives. This is the one I decided to go with. And then I'm using LangChain. So LangChain, for those that don't know, let me go find it. Well, is technically a variety of product, but there's also a product that they have called also LangChain. Very not confusing. But it's an LLM framework that allows you to abstract away a lot of the implementation details of various LLM models. And so usually what you would do if you were to build a LLM powered tool is that the first step would be to go to the model documentation of the model you want to use, and go learn a whole brand new implementation of how you would use it. So you have to go through the quick starts and like, okay, how do you initialize this model? How do you prompt it? How do you do function calling, for example, which is
right.
The tediousness with this is that if you play around with a lot of different models, you have to keep relearning a lot of this.
Right.
Okay, this is a different model. Okay, how do you initialize that one? How do you do function calling with that one? And the APIs look different, and the libraries are different. And so LangChain allows you to abstract that away. You just learn that one framework, and you can substitute models in and out without changing much of the codes that you have.
I'm gonna ask the tough question. How realistic is that? I've worked with abstraction frameworks sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's like, oh my god, it takes me back." Write once, run anywhere of the JVM, right? Like we're like, yeah, great. Is that I'm guessing there's some dependent, like there's some like nuance there in terms of like sometimes it works this way with this particular like LLM, maybe it works a little differently, or maybe you don't have that feature on this LLM but you do on this one. There's some of that. Is that pretty accurate?
So a little bit of both. So the feature set that the framework provides may not be relevant to every model. Let's think of function calling, for example.
Yeah.
I'm going to start up with just a Gemini model.
Yep.
Gemini supports function calling. That's great for us. But not every model supports function calling. And so in a case where you use a model without that feature, the abstraction is not going to do anything because there's nothing implementation wise behind that particular model.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. I think I've delayed you long enough.
Yeah, okay. And so that's what we're gonna use. So we're just gonna code. Maybe we're gonna ask Gemini Code Assist for help if
always a pleasant experience.
I just realized I'm seeing it here that is enabled, so that's always a fun tool.
Yeah.
Right. So, but besides these requirements, we're just starting from scratch. We don't have any source code here. First step would be to initialize LangChain, connect to Gemini, which is our model we're going to use, and just be able to parse user queries.
Okay.
We're not going to do any function calling first, and we can just add on the function calling after, right?
Out of curiosity, we're going to go Gemini through Vertex. We're going to go Gemini direct. I know there's a couple of options depending on what you want to do.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. So I already have. Well, I can show it here. I already have. Where's Vertex? I thought I had it pinned. I should pin that.
You probably don't on this account.
And so Vertex does have a handful of models. Ooh.
Yeah.
Including Gemini. And so what I'm going to do is just use. I think I'm going to use 1.5. I might use 1.5 Flash.
Okay.
But it's already in Vertex. And so I can just use it directly. It's going to use my Google Cloud service account to do that. But because I'm in the Cloud Shell terminal, Cloud Shell editor here, I don't need to do any service account.
You don't have to like authenticate,
key setup or anything like that.
Exactly.
It'll just work.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So
see what you got. What are you doing?
So I'm just gonna start with bootstrapping the Flask app that we have. Okay. So this
I'm actually kind of surprised that you couldn't just type in Gemini create me like a Flask app and it would just be like boom done. But I mean that's pretty close.
From app import create app. That's not right. We don't have a create app thing. I might make fun of the code suggestions sometimes because while it's helpful a lot of the time, but sometimes
you're like,
you're just looking at it and you're like, no, that's not really what I want. But let's see. I do have some.
It has 2 suggestions there. I only just noticed that.
Oh, it does.
What's the other one?
From Flask, import Flask. We do need Flask. I'm just gonna.
I don't know. Is that useful? I have no idea. Oh, there we go.
Is this going to work?
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're doing.
Oh, that's okay. Do you do much Python?
I do no Python at all.
No Python.
I do Python. Yeah, I know. I have enough to just be terrible.
This works.
And usually I work it up. I look it up every single time I end up doing Python.
I mean, I feel like that's me with like any language. Like I have my languages and I still have to look up stuff all the time.
I mean, that's true. Python definitely the most. It's not a language I use regularly.
That's fair. Okay, so we have this is just the basic Flask.
Got it. So this is just going to create like a
Plus
little
F.
HTTP server, and like boom, that's what we get.
Exactly. And so I will create a route. I'll just say /LLM.
Cool.
Easy enough to remember. And I'll say we're talking to Gemini. That's the thing we're doing.
Sounds good.
I don't want to return hello Gemini, but I'll just type that here just for fun. So right, we have an app, we have a route. We should instantiate the LLM model. None. Yeah, we don't have an LLM. And so this is what you brought up earlier, right? Which is like there is some level of abstraction. But
this is a LangChain piece essentially, right?
Yeah, the LangChain piece. So there is some level of abstraction, but there's also some things that are a little bit harder to abstract away. So one of them is instantiating the LLM itself. So before you use any of the features like function calling, that instantiation piece differ quite a bit from LLM to LLM to the point where you actually use like different functions to do the instantiate.
Okay, so there is still a bit of like, okay, I need to know how to use LangChain with this
exactly
model, at least at the beginning.
Exactly. But LangChain, like they have a good doc set. So in our case here, we're going to use something called chat Vertex AI, which is how you instantiate a chat LLM with Vertex AI, which is what we're going to use. But they've got like fairly good docs on like instantiation, and this is about what it's going to look like, and how to invoke it and all that stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
And I forgot here, I think. Right. So they've got a big table with all of the biggest model. Yeah, there you go. All of the biggest models and like which package, which package you want to use here.
Yeah, exactly.
And direct links to the docs.
Nice.
So, let's do that. So that's Vertex AI, and we're going to use Gemini 1.5 Flash. I'm going to set these as just default values. Let's do 5,000.
That's better. Yeah.
And whoa, what's going on here? Let's do 5.
What does max retries do? If like it goes down or something?
Yeah. So
LangChain has some like retry functionality built in.
It has some retry functionality. And a lot of these things like max output tokens. That's our quota of how many output tokens we want to get as like a maximum. Stop is none. I'll usually add it just to make sure that there's no like abrupt stop in the output. And then the temperature is 0.5. We can play around with that. I'll just leave it there as a good default. And if we find that the determinism is not quite what we want, we change the number. And then we try something else.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we got an LLM. Let's create a system prompt. I'll just call it prompt. I'm very original tonight.
Look, clear names are good names. I'll also remind people, if you're watching and you want to drop any questions in chat, if anything that's going on, please feel free. Ooh, what is that?
Yeah. So let me write this and then
You've clearly done this a couple of times before.
I haven't. Well, sorry. Yes, I have. But so I'm using a little bit of a cheat sheet in the sense that I've got some of the doc pages open.
Yep.
Could I remember all of this by heart? No.
That's fair. That's fair.
Could anyone? Maybe. Is it worth it? Like remembering these things by heart? I'd
Yeah.
argue no.
I mean, if you did it a lot.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's almost helpful. Cool. I think I got this.
I believe in you. I don't know what that means, but I believe in you.
And so what I'm starting to bootstrap here is not only the the system prompt, but I also want to keep a little bit of the history, and so typically if you just you instantiate the LLM model and you start talking to it, even in a like a chat environment,
Yep.
The model will not that it will forget, but it just won't remember what you told it.
I believe won't remember is the definition of forget.
And so what you'll notice if you don't keep the history and you don't keep passing the history
Yeah.
to the model, is that you'll talk to it and you'll say like, hey, can you give me the weather in Toronto? And then it'll reply, maybe it'll reply back with like, here's the weather in Toronto, and then you'll reply, you'll get a second query that's like, what about San Francisco? And then it'll reply back to you like, what about it?
Yeah, right. Like it doesn't know what the context is,
because it completely forgot that you were asking about the weather and that it just gave you the weather, right? Which I find funny. It's endearing in a way.
It's endearing. Just like patting on the head. Well done, little LLM. You remembered things. Good for you.
And so I will create this history. We're using a lot of LangChain function and LangChain objects that we totally have not declared. So if we tried this, we're gonna get a bunch of error. We can just go back and import things that we forgot to import. It's fine.
Is it not like auto import as you do stuff? I actually don't use VS Code very often. I actually think this is VS Code.
There might be like VS Code might have an auto import, either like a setting or a plugin, but I've never.
Yeah, you're fine. You're like,
I've never noticed that it does.
All right, and look, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah. So usually, not for Python, but some of the languages, especially like Golang and Java, I'll use the JetBrains IDE.
Yeah, I use a bunch of JetBrains stuff.
And their auto import is
great,
magic.
Yeah, it's great.
It just works. Which is definitely something that I would love to see, in VS Code.
Or what I'm hearing is you need to tell Gemini Code Assist, hey, work out what my imports are and add them.
That's true. Can I talk to it? Can I fix? No, I don't want to propose fix. Well, maybe. What happens if I do this?
What happens if you do
this? We can just cancel it, if anything, right?
It's true. It's not going to do anything anyway.
Oh,
there you go.
Whoa. Okay, that's too much. It did
a lot.
I don't want to generate this much code.
Can you just like pick the bits you want?
I don't know, because I see the accept decline at the top.
What's the plus on the left hand side, or is that just diffs? That's just setting up diffs.
Yeah, they're just saying like.
That's a shame. You can't be like, I just want all of this.
Well, it could be. I don't know what this button does. Oh, revert block.
Oh. Yeah, revert the block. Go on, do it.
I think you could just revert the blocks that you don't.
There you go.
Want.
So did you get rid of the block?
All right, hold up.
Yeah, revert that block, and then get rid of all the other stuff.
And then can I get it? Oh.
They did. I
see. I need to really hover like far. Okay. And then that's too much.
That's pretty
okay. So I can do this, and then I can accept.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it works. I see. Oh,
yeah. So then you're getting the license, the citation stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ignore? I can ignore.
You can if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at this. Okay, and we don't need cars. Oh, and then it just doubled up on the on the Flask import.
Yeah. Double import.
Double import. I don't know what happens if you have the same import twice. Will Python yell at you, or will it just ignore it?
What if you import stuff you don't use?
No, if you import something twice.
Oh, I don't know.
Huh.
Does Python complain at you if you import something you don't use?
No.
Okay.
Cool.
Most of the languages I use these days complain at you.
I know Golang does.
Yeah, Golang does for sure. Rust will as well. Actually, Rust doesn't complain, but the linter will complain. It's usually what happens.
I see. Okay.
All right.
We don't have a system prompt. We should make that.
That seems like a thing you should do.
System
I mean,
prompt.
you could just pass in whatever the query is. It's not really the most security conscious of LLM.
Yeah,
like,
let's say
but for what we're doing might be
you're a chat assistant. Only responds in emoji.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sounds
what
reasonable.
happens.
Actually, this could be fun if we're gonna do something like weather. Like you just get weather like emojis.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
that
don't
sounds
hate that.
fun, actually.
I don't hate that idea. All right, cool.
Okay. Okay, we have a history started. So when we talk to Gemini, we're gonna talk through this, /LM. I want to make that a post, actually, because we want to give it the the query when we talk to it.
Makes sense.
So I'll just do a post. I'll just put the query message in the body of the post, and that's it. There might be a better way to do it, but I feel like that's the simplest way.
That seems fine. I mean, if you want to get really hacky with it, make it a GET request with a query parent, but that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, my thing with the query parents is that like user queries can be.
It's true. I'm not saying I would do that in production. I'm just saying if you just want something quick and hacky, that could work. That's all.
That's true, right? Because then you just do the curl and then
do the curl,
check
it in the browser or call it. But like I said, if you have a nice way of making post requests, don't let me stop you.
Okay. Well, let me see. Oh, woo! This is what I want. Amazing. Cool.
Nice.
See, I love when this works. And so right, we have our history. The history feature in LangChain can actually keep track not only of the various messages, but it'll keep track of whether it's a user message or the LLM message, or even there's a tool message, which is for the response of your function.
Oh, interesting. What was I going to say? Assuming that the chat message history that we've created is by default like an in-memory kind of thing. Yeah,
it's in memory by default. I believe that's
so. Like, if this process resets, the history goes away, but like
correct.
It's fine for development, and you're just kind of messing around.
Yeah. Not only that, but if you'd like to scale this, as is, then you would have to make sure that the user session. Sorry, actually, there's two things here. So one is if you want to scale this, you would have to make sure that you're either like a user is always pinging the same instance, right? Or
not ideal.
That you keep track of the session throughout various instances of your scalable.
You have some sort of session token, like a cookie or whatever, and then pass it.
And then the second thing that I just thought about as I said the word session is as it is right now, like this, right? This application, if multiple users interact with the LLM at the same time, or just in general, they're all adding on the same history. Like they're like one unified voice.
Yes. Not great.
And so in terms of production ready, that's not great, right? Because you could do sort of like prompt injection or something similar where you just give it the prompt. What was the last message that I said?
And then you get bleed, basically.
But then you just get the last user that used this, right? So usually you would have to gatekeep that under a session token and just make sure that the history is confined to that token and doesn't leak out. Okay, so we have the user message. That's just the body param. We're gonna make an AI message. That's going to be the LLM, and we're going to invoke it, and we're going to give it the messages. So that comes back to you were asking what this was.
Yes.
This is a prompt template where it's a prompt template that we can reuse every time we're querying every time we're invoking the LLM. So how I set it up here is that it's an array sorry, it's just an array. Let's just call it an array. It's an array with two different things here. There's the system prompt, which we've just defined as this simple string.
Yep.
You are chat. You are a chat assistant, only respond in emoji.
Yep.
Then there's also wait. Give me a sec. I need to look at my cheat sheet.
Ha.
No, I'm good. I was like, did I forget something? No. And then we're also going to give it at the same time a variable called messages. And then every time we invoke it, we replace that variable with the history.
Oh, I see. So it literally is a template because you're like, this is the bit that I'm going to replace in here. Everything else can stay static, but this is the bit that I replace.
What this looks like is every time you invoke the LLM, you are repeating the system prompt, which is this. So you're like, system prompt, you're in a chat, and you could tweak the prompt and be like, this is an ongoing conversation or something like that.
Yeah.
You tweak it.
We can get there. Yeah, exactly.
So you give it the system prompt, and then you give it also here are, arbitrary variable name messages, and it's just the history of the chat. And so we're going with the assumption, which usually work, which is that the LLM will see, it's a chat assistant, and it will see a variable name messages that is a list of the messages, and we'll put two together and go from there.
Nice. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff I've done by hand with LLMs for sure.
So, okay, so we're invoking. This is the AI. And so we want to add that to the history as well. So it's what is it? Add AI message. Wow. I thought it was add bot message.
Got it. And then we spit it back.
Wait.
We got a couple.
I just tabbed that. I didn't even notice it auto-generated this.
Yeah.
I mean, that might work actually. That might just work.
That looks pretty reasonable. I'm assuming the structure is what I think it is, but that seems reasonable.
Okay, let's just assume this works. Why don't we test it?
That makes sense. Good place to start.
I also don't know if this is the right list, but you know what? It'll tell me.
It'll tell you. Something will either work or it won't.
Okay. So I have a terminal here. I should make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Let's remove everything here. So I'm just gonna run this, and I know it's going to yell at me because I never get stuff working right on the first try. I knew it.
Chat first not defined. Okay.
You should define language model. That doesn't sound right. Let's see what the imports look like. Okay, I do. Oh, I think that's wrong. Hold up. Because we want this. I know what it is. Okay. It tried to get it from longchain.chat models. We should get it from longchain _ Google _ Vertex AI. And whoops. There we go. Okay, this is the right one. This is the one we want.
Okay, so what I'm guessing that is basically saying, get me the Google Vertex AI version of the Chat Vertex AI object, which looks the same as any other Chat Vertex AI for any other provider.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
And then the rest, well, let's just try running this again. I was gonna be like, the rest, I don't know.
Let's see what it says.
I don't see any errors.
Ooh.
So this might work. Oh, that was so close. Chat message history not defined. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, we're missing some stuff here. Let me just see. Chat message history is from. Ooh, that's from Longchain community. So from Longchain community dot chat message series. There. Okay, so that we were missing.
Cool. I don't think we use conversation buffer memory. That doesn't.
We do not use this.
Yeah.
I think this is all we need, though.
Okay.
I think we're good. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, let's try this. And then we wait a couple seconds and we see if it decides to. Oh, this is good.
There we go.
This red message is good. It's just telling me that I should not run this in.
Yes.
In production. Okay. Wait.
Now, how do we query it?
I don't remember adding this. I wonder if that was an autocomplete that I pressed tab too quickly.
Probably. It happens.
It totally was.
Yes.
Okay. So we have this running in a terminal. So what I'll do here is I'll just create another terminal while it's running in the background.
Yep.
And I'll just do a curl.
Okay.
So
I can never remember how to do post requests on curl.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's see if I can remember this. So -x is for what type of request you want to make. We want to make a post request. -d, I believe, is data.
I'm looking
so
it up.
That's the body.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. Oh, you're gonna handwrite a JSON packet. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, good on you. Okay. But
hold up. Message. So this is a user message, and then let's just go with hello chat.
That works.
There, and then close the quotation, and then
dash post. You've got that, and then the URL.
The URL HTTP localhost, and I think it's 8080.
I thought it was 5,000 actually.
Oh, it might be 5,000 actually. You're right. I didn't put a port here.
And then /LLM.
Oh yeah, /LLM, and let's see. Okay, I missed something.
Yeah,
I missed something. So in addition to post, we also want the -h, and I believe there's a capital H, right?
You probably don't want it after that -d. You probably want it before.
Hold up. Here.
There we go. That's better.
And I think it's a capital H, but
it is. It is. I looked it up. Also, you need to specify that it's content type.
Wait, do I? Oh, I do. Oh, because it's a header, right?
It's a header. Content -type.
And then is it colon?
Colon application JSON. There we go.
Wait, like this?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. So close. All right. Cool. What did we do?
Hold on. Was that the result of the curl, or is that?
Oh wait, actually, that's a good point. Oh no, I see. Oh, whoa. Wait, there's HTML in there.
There's like what?
Oh, that's a debugger because we have the debugging on.
Oh.
And so
you get a page. You get like a nice page where everything shows up.
Yeah. So I think if we were to have done this post in a web browser, this would be nicely formatted.
Right, and you could see it. Look at it. Yeah.
But let's go back to
But you see the same error over there.
The thing running is the error. And let's see, chat models, history, invoke. Okay, so it's the invoke line that failed. Something about converting.
Invalid input class dict must be prompt value string or list of based messages.
It was supposed to be a string, so something is not working right.
What is AI message.content?
Oh, here?
Yeah, is that actually a string? Is content a string?
Yeah.
What line did it actually fail on?
Is it not? Well, I mean, it failed at this line anyway.
Right, but like messages.
That was. Hold up. Oh, here, history messages.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry, my bad.
Invalid input text. Okay, the history.message is a dictionary, but it should have worked. Oh, is it because I didn't? Let me think about this for a sec while I sip on my tea. We love doing this live. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's the fun of it. So I'm gonna in the background I'm looking at LangChain docs.
Okay, hold on. I
have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have my
Let's look.
LLM. I have a prompt.
It's a
We
messages
created a
placeholder.
history.
Right.
Let's see, what else do we have here?
There we go.
LLM prompt. Oh, I'm not using the prompt template. I created this prompt template and I'm not using it anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that would seem like a thing you might want to
I found the issue. Okay, so let's make a chain, which is gonna be this.
What?
So this is oh, okay, hold up. Let me quit this. Okay, this is a LangChain LangChainness. I'm gonna say this is a word, LangChainness. But the core feature of LangChain, or one of its like core differentiator is its support of chaining, which is the chain from LangChain. So it allows you to chain various things together.
Interesting.
So in this case here, it's very simple. We're taking a prompt and we're chaining it or piping it to an LLM.
Interesting.
But we could extend that, and we're going to do that in a sec, but we could extend it and take a prompt and take some tools and, put all of that together and chain, do a full chain to the LLM.
Like we're doing a whole like Unix pipe kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of a Unix pipe. Whoa. I just opened the dictionary somehow. Interesting. I think I must have like hard clicked on my on my trackpad. So I learned that there's a dictionary entry for this pipe icon. Oh no, there isn't. There isn't. That's what it complained about. I see.
Okay. We can't see that, so I believe you. Okay, so if you've
let me remove that.
That's fine. So if you've created that thing called chain, where do we use that?
And then instead of invoking the LLM, we invoke the chain.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the history, do we need to attach that to anything too?
So the history is
it's just okay. It's a separate object that we manage separately. Okay,
exactly. Okay, let's try that. And let's give it a 3 seconds. There you go. No debugger running this time. And then we're gonna try the curl again.
Try it. Now it is spitting back an emoji, but it's formatted funny because bash.
I was going to be like, darn, it didn't work, but and because I was like, oh, it's just spitting out like gibberish.
It's kind of. I would have thought it actually would have come out as emoji, but like.
Well, maybe this terminal is. Oh no, I don't think it's terminal. I wonder if it's this JSONify that might it might escape them.
Oh my gosh!
Would you say?
It's possible.
Or maybe a string somewhere is like not UTF-8 or something. But I thought by default Python did UTF-8 everywhere. So
yeah. But
you know what we can try?
It. Here we go. Yeah. Okay.
hold up. I've got an
It
idea.
sounds like a slightly common issue.
Okay.
I'm seeing this too. Maybe.
Oops. I'm a little bit too quick on the
Oh,
trigger,
you're wanting to like return an emoji just to see if it actually works.
So yeah, so what I want to do here is I did ahead of time build a very simplistic web UI. And so what I'll do is we'll see if it shows up as an emoji on the web UI rather than doing curl, because yeah, we could keep doing curl requests. It's not
to get the web UI.
visual.
You need to run your Flask app on 8080 so that you can do the preview stuff.
You can actually change the
oh, you can change the port.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned.
So okay, right. So I want Flask. I might need to get what's the Flask? There's a Flask thing for this. Oh, send from directory. Send from directory.
Got it.
Okay. And I'm gonna get rid of Jsonify, and what else am I missing? I'm missing something. I'm gonna, you know what? If I'm missing something, it'll tell me. Right.
Makes
so
sense.
I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm just gonna return just the AI, like the last thing that the AI told me.
Gotcha.
Messages. Yes, that seems right. Wait, that doesn't seem right.
AI message content. No, wait.
AI response. Content. Yeah. That's what we called it, right? AI response? Or no,
yes.
No, we didn't. Wait.
AI message. So you're right.
Message. Okay, I see. Content. Okay, that seems okay. I was like, something's not right here. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and let's see what that looks like. So we run the scan, hopefully without errors. Ooh, no errors.
Nice. Good place to start.
And then so Cloud Shell Editor, which I assume you knew about it because you mentioned it, does have a web preview functionality. It defaults on port 8080, but you can change it to any
port.
Sorry, I'm saying any port, but there is
apparently there are restrictions. Although it's like you can't go to low level ports and you can't go above the port range that machines have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I'm running something locally in this Cloud Shell, but I'm still able to visualize, what this looks like.
Yep.
So this is very simplistic web page. The only thing that happens here is if I type something here and I submit, it's going to do that curl post request, the one that we had set up.
Yep.
It's just going to do it. It's going to wait for a response, and it's just going to show the response.
Cool.
Pretty easy. So, hello world. And oh, look, I should zoom in because this is
look
beautiful.
at that. We get some emojis.
What is your favorite snack?
There we go. That's pretty good. I don't hate this. This is pretty good.
Wait, describe Back to the Future in 5 emoji. Will that work?
Well, you could just say, oh, that is remarkably impressive. And although that is, that is 5 emojis because the car and then going fast.
Yeah. And the clock and then the lightning, the bolt of lightning, and then
the Johnny Be Good song at the end.
Yep.
I'm like genuinely impressed. Okay.
Is the power of Gemini, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice how fast
Yeah, that was very fast.
it runs? So this is Flash. Flash has blown my mind in terms of speed. Like just when Gemini came out, 1.0, it was already fairly fast, and I thought it was fairly fast. But Flash, like, I genuinely thought that it was just giving me back canned responses, because it was like, there's no way it's that fast. What are your favorite animals? Like, do you see how fast this is? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we know Gemini's favorite animals are,
Yep.
A dog, a cat. I assume is that a panda or a raccoon, and then a turtle and a fish. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's right. That seems right.
Okay. And now we know.
So actually, I was going to ask, what we could do now is actually like the query. I think we were talking about possibly doing weather.
Yeah, let's do weather.
Let's ask it what the weather is in, let's pick a city, and like see what it like. It's only going to respond to emoji, which is going to be really interesting.
What is the weather currently in Toronto? Yeah, that's funny.
There we go. Okay. Which is good. I actually prefer that. That's like, it's not making anything up, anything like that.
I do appreciate that it still included 2 emoji.
It did.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
But it still has that guardrail. And that comes from the Gemini, Gemini 1.5 Flash. That comes from the model. It's been trained with guardrails such that if you asked about something about real-time information, it will avoid hallucinating, and it will tell you, sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So how do we fix this? Let's fix it. Do you know about the public APIs GitHub repository?
I do not. Tell me more.
Oh man. So there's a crowdsourced GitHub repository, which is essentially a big README file with
all kinds of stuff,
all kinds of APIs that you can use.
Cool.
And by all kinds, I really mean, like, look at this. This is just a list of categories. I don't know I don't know if you can see my scroll bar on the right.
Oh yeah, it's tiny. It's like itty bitty. Yeah.
Whoop! I lost everything. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. So we were saying that we wanted to do weather. There's a whole weather category with a lot of them. Just for the sake of simplicity and not dealing with API keys, I'm just gonna pick one that doesn't have any authentication.
Cool.
That's probably for the better. I did notice towards the end there's this very small, very simple, very originally named weather API.
Do you know I was looking for something like this the other day, strangely enough, and I couldn't find one.
So it doesn't give you much, right? So
that's fine. That's enough.
Wait, hold up. There's one. Okay, yeah, there's one hosted here. We're just gonna use the hosted one. But basically, it's just /weather/city.
Perfect.
And then it gives you this.
Lovely. Love it. Love it.
That's it.
You don't need more than that. That's great.
And so we're just gonna go with that.
Or maybe people do, but it's fine.
So, okay. So, first thing we want to do. I lost my code. There you go. First thing we want to do is get rid of this terminal so we have more space to work with. Is we want to define a function. So function calling implies we're going to call a function. So we need to create that function first. So let's say, check weather.
Seems very reasonable.
Seems reasonable.
Does it take a city name or something?
Oh yeah, right. Of course.
That would make sense.
City name.
All right.
Okay. Cool. What does this do? we're gonna go simple and not do any guardrail checking and just assume that's a valid city name, and we're just gonna call the
One problem at a time.
Yeah, one problem at a time. Where am I going? Requests. I keep forgetting if there's an S or not. No, there's no S. It's just request.
You tell me. You're the Python person.
I'm the Python person.
You're the Python person.
Should I be? I think it's just get.
Yep.
But for some reason, it's not showing me that just get in the IntelliSense or whatever this is called.
Oh, I don't know. Don't look at me.
That's a VS Code thing. That's fine. I usually code in the standalone VS Code, and so I'm actually not using it to code in Cloud Shell Editor, but I wanted everything to just be in the web browser for ease of sharing my screen.
Whatever makes you happy, I'm here for.
Exactly, and then I don't need to like switch back and forth and start, talking about a thing, and then someone yells at me that they can't see what I'm seeing. So we're going to get, what does this look like? We're going to get this.
Sounds good.
This, and I guess just replace this with the city.
Oh wow, no guardrails at all. I like
no,
it.
That's what I mean, right?
I like it. Do not do this in production.
We can, yeah. Do not do this in prod. Do not try this at home. It's very dangerous. So, let's just do a try and catch. There might be, it might return an error if it's an invalid city, and so we don't want to crash the entire application. And so we have a response. Wait, this should be inside. This is the thing that's going to error out.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
So we have a response, and then. Oh,
do we need to like assign the response to something, or?
Well, we just need to make sure that if there's a non 200, we're gonna raise it as a thing, and then response.json.
Oh my god,
seems right.
Okay, no, this does my head in.
Response.json.
How does the response know about the
request? How does the response know about the requests? Oh, because I forgot this.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I was like, it could be Python magic. I don't know.
Yeah, well, this is why you're here, so you can point out where I'm making mistakes.
Yes. Looks like it's complaining about something. Oh, maybe that's why.
There you go. And then if we have anything, we don't want to return it, because that's the thing. I don't want to crash. But I want to print it just in case. Okay.
Okay.
That should be good. And then return nothing.
Cool. I dig it.
Okay. And that's it. That's
all right. So we have a function now, but like, what do we do with it? Where does it go?
So how do we use that? So basically, we want to tell the LLM model, in this case Gemini, we want to tell it like, hey, by the way, you have access to this function if you need it.
Right.
Sounds easy enough to do.
I don't know. Is it easy enough to do? I have no idea.
The concept in my head is easy, but then when you start coding, you're like, just a little bit. It's a little bit involved.
I've done this. I've done this by hand. Actually, with Gemini, I did this by hand with Gemini, but I haven't done it through LangChain. So I'm very curious to see how much easier it is.
Oh, I see. Oh, so that's
through LangChain. So I've used our like standard Google Cloud, like Vertex API, like SDKs. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Okay.
But I've never done this through LangChain, primarily because I don't write Python or JavaScript. So I'm curious to see like how much it simplifies things, or what sort of like things it takes away.
So what we're gonna do is I'm going to show you, and then you can tell me if the LangChain way is.
Well, now I gotta actually bring up my old code and.
Okay, this is a prompt. Okay, so we have a prompt. So we need to tell Gemini, or at least we need to tell LangChain, and LangChain can tell Gemini, as such as the power of abstraction. about that function. So
Yep.
function calling has another name, which is tools, LLM tools.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so LangChain, I don't believe actually uses like the words function calling in any of its APIs or SDK or anything like that. It just uses tools everywhere.
Got it.
And so we just have to remember that tools, function calling, they're like synonyms. It's the same thing. So the first thing we need to do is we need to define what the tools are. So again, for the sake of originality, I'm just going to call that tools, and it's just going to be an array with the functions.
Okay.
But not, we're not calling the functions. It's just, this is the function. Or to check whether. So when we call a function, right, we have the brackets, and then we may or may not have,
Wait, what?
parameters. But I'm just going to pass on the function definition.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that LangChain is gonna do some like introspection on whatever metadata is available inside Python for like the details of the function.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you how it does that in a sec. But basically, so we define tools. It's going to be that array of tools, and that array can be, some arbitrary size with many different tools. And then what I'm going to do here is this chain where we're passing the that prompt template to the LLM. Instead, we're going to pass it to. Wow, look at that. That's almost right. Actually, that is right. I think this works.
Is that right? I honestly expected it to be prompt pipe tools pipe LLM, but it's not. Interesting.
Yeah, so there's a binding process. I don't know what there must be an implementation reason for that, for
Okay.
tools specifically.
Just from like if you were saying like you have this like chain, I was like, yeah,
I know. Yeah.
why is that not in the chain? But okay, I mean
I
if it's
mean,
not, it's not.
it's part of the chain, but I know what you mean. Okay, so let's do this. And so that's almost it for LangChain to know about the tool. The only thing we're missing here is
I think you're gonna do exactly what my question's gonna be. There we go.
we need
Okay.
this. Was that your next follow-up?
Well, I was gonna say I figured there had to be some sort of like description of what check weather does, or is it just gonna infer it from the name? Like, oh, it's called check weather, so I'm gonna assume that means like I go get the weather
So
and it takes the city name, and like there's some conventions, I
yeah,
would say.
yeah. So it does from, it infers from that, and it infers from the typing.
Right.
So I'm just gonna make sure, right? Python, in Python, the typing is in the definition is optional, but I'm just gonna make sure that it's very defined. It's a city name, it's a string.
Okay.
And even the return, I'm gonna, well, it's not a string, it's a tick. Even the return, I'm gonna be like very strict. Wait, no,
Hey.
we are reporting a string. Sorry.
We are returning a string. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, because I'm just piping it as a string. And we may
Like
change that if it's not playing well. So right now, basically, we're going to be returning like the equivalent of this as a string, right? We could play around with that. Instead of returning a JSON, we could just, pick and choose. Maybe that function only returns temperature, and then we just return that, dot temperature.
Yep.
So tools, and then we just need to make sure that we're importing from LangChain. What is it? LangChain core.tools, and then we're importing tool. That's it.
Cool.
And I think that if we run that, I lost my terminal.
That was a fair chunk easier, I will say.
Was it?
Yeah.
Now I'm curious what the other way looks like.
It's more of a, it's more verbose.
So let's run this. Let's just see that. Right. So that's what I wanted to see. Oh, actually, that makes sense. Not tools. It's just a singular tool.
It's a singular tool. It's just one tool.
Just one tool. I wonder if part of the reason why they decided to go with tools instead of function calling is because it's less letter to type.
Or maybe there's other things that may get added to languages like LLMs down the line. So having something generic makes sense.
Oh, so right, that is true. I forgot about this. So
See,
this
yes.
answers your question, actually.
Okay, there we go. Because I definitely had that as a thing.
So, oh, I lost my mouse. There you go. So, right. So, in addition to making sure that we have, sensible naming, we should also just tell it, check the weather in the given city, and we can list the arguments. I thought it was going to auto-complete it for me, but it's okay. So we have, sorry, not title, city.
City name.
Name. I was going to say with like city title, and it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
And that's the title of the city. Wow. I need to go take a nap. That's what I need to do. The name of the city.
I know it's getting later for you, so that's fair enough.
Okay. And we can even add a returns. The weather formatted as JSON.
There we go.
The weather and forecast, because it does give like 2 days of forecast, I noticed.
Oh.
Check the weather. Sure. Okay. That should be enough.
That should be enough.
Okay.
Try that now.
Does that work? It doesn't yell at me.
Doesn't yell at you so far.
So, one thing you'll notice though is if we say like, what's the weather in Toronto?
It waves at you. Did we log funny, the output of what we got back?
You know what we should do? We should be printing.
Yeah, print the response from the thing just to see what it ends up doing.
So, but so I can tell you what's happening, even though we're not seeing it here. So what is happening is that the way the LangChain tools implementation works is that when you have a query,
right,
where the model decides, okay, that we should be using this tool that we have available.
Yeah.
Instead of replying with the usual response, what it's going to do is it is going to reply with a response.
Yeah.
But also attached with it, use these tools. And that, use these tools message is aimed at the code.
Right.
And so we need to manually invoke the tools to use them.
Oh.
Sorry, that's a lot. I'm gonna code that.
Oh, I actually assumed it did it for you. Oh, interesting.
Right. So this invocation, if we were to print this,
well, okay,
let's print it. Let's print it just so you see what this looked like.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna add a print. It's just printing the AI message.
The question I was going to ask then is, why did it not do what it did before, which was, hey, I don't know that, or I can't do that?
Because it can do that now, because it can use a tool. And so the reply had we're going to need to use these tools. The message itself, that wave, is not really meant for the end user. It's just weird because we have in the system prompt only do emoji.
I was going to say, so basically the LLM's like, I can't do what you want me to do, but I can't tell you that because I'm told to only use emojis. So I'm just going to wave at you and be like, hi.
So let us try this again. What's the weather in Toronto?
Still get a wave. Okay, cool. But we may see something here.
So what you're going to notice here, we'll have to find it because there's a lot of stuff here. So the content is just that wave. There is response metadata. There's a lot of like safety ratings.
Yep.
Usage. So then it talks about how many tokens were used. And there should have been somewhere. Is it? No, this is just the idea of the run. There
Is there
should have
something to do
been.
with? Is there something to do with functions in there
Yeah, there should
somewhere?
have been like, I want to use these tools, if I remember correctly. I forgot what that field was.
I do not know.
But I also don't see it. So I feel like finish reason stop. Usage metadata. Interesting. Okay, maybe we did something wrong. Let's look at it again. Are the tools bound properly? This should be actually, because if they weren't, then it would
say,
tell
hey,
us
nah.
that. Okay, let's see. So we have this. Oh, you know what? What if we're a little bit more descriptive? I'm gonna remove this, but I do like that only respond emoji, and I'll just
I'm sad.
well, I was gonna say I'll just add it later. Okay, I'll leave it there. And what I'll do is I'll make sure that this is on multi-line, because I want me to be able to read this. So let's just do it in multi-line for fun. Only response emoji. If the user asks about weather, use the check weather tool.
You don't normally have to do that though, right?
You wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to. I did play around with this a handful of weeks ago, where for some reason it, and I forgot what model I was using, but it liked to only use the tool sometimes, even though I was explicitly asking about something that was like tool worthy. And I added a line like this, and then it stopped doing it. So
Right.
I'm just gonna make sure it's using that, and that should be it. Okay, so that's the problem. We have the tools. Just making sure we're using them. So we have the binding. So maybe that might not make a difference, but I'm going to use the bind the same way as last time I used the bind. Yes, words are weird. Which is LLM dot. There's a bind, but there's a bind tools. Let's see if that helps.
Got it.
Okay, let's try that again. Okay. We're running this.
Alright.
We're waiting for the big red message that says, do not run this in prod. What's the weather in Toronto? Wave.
Tool calls.
I see it right here. So right here, there's a field called tool calls, and it's going to give you, this basically tells you, I want, like, is the model saying, I want to use a tool. Please, please let me phone a
Please
friend.
don't do it.
And then it says, like, here's the name of the tool, check weather. And here are the arguments I want to use. City name, Toronto. Cool. Now we just need to do that.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, I think I've done some of this before. You kind of end up making two calls to the LLM. One, like, hey, should I be using, I'm just going to send this to you. And if you come back to me and you're like, actually, rather than give it back this response, go use this function and then feed me the information from that function, and then we'll go back around again. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
And so it could be that you're only doing one call. For example, you're doing a call that's not related to weather.
Hello
and
world.
then it doesn't need to call a tool.
Right.
So in that case, you would only be doing one call to the LM. But if you do need to use a tool, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to use, invoke those tools locally in the code, and then do, like you were saying, that second query to the LLM with, okay, you were asking me about these tools. Here's the answer, and then it
You asked me to go do this thing, so let's go do the
responses
thing.
again.
Yeah.
And somehow it all works because it's magic, apparently. What's the there's a like a famous saying that there's something along the lines of like sufficiently advanced technology is in this
Indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah, that word that's hard to pronounce.
Native English speaker helps.
Did I ever tell you English is not my first language?
That's okay. English is my first language, and I still mess it up on a large number of occasions.
You know what you could say as an excuse, like just tell people English is not my English is my second language, and then when they ask you what's your first language, just say, oh, I don't have any.
It's just English. Yeah.
It's
That's
just
all right. I
English.
often say that I'm fluent in 2 languages, Australian and conversational American.
Conversational American, yeah. Okay, so we invoked LM. It may or may not reply to us with that tool call. So what I want to do here is do I want to add? Yeah, I want to add it to history anyway, just to have everything in the history. But what I want to do is I want to check if there's a tool call, because there may not be, right? So if the tool calls, like if there's none, wow. If there's none, we just want to return this as is.
Got it.
But if there is a tool call, that's what we want to.
Something looks wrong in there. Maybe double equals.
Right. That should be a double equal.
There we go. Okay, cool.
I'm surprised that it. Oh, I know why it gave me an error, because this is a function. So it was like, why are you reassigning a function to a digit? This is the double equal sign is not something that I get hung up often, but sometimes, like, you can spend like 15 minutes trying to figure out a bug, and it was like, oh, I'm just reassigning a variable instead of comparing. So one thing that Longchain will do is that it might decide, or sorry, that implementation or that abstraction, it might decide that it needs multiple tools. So
okay, that's interesting. No, I'm seeing some abstractions hiding some stuff away, like because you can, like, if you're using Vertex directly, you can be like, don't return response, only check for functions, or you could be like, only check for a function, or I'll allow you to check for multiple functions. Langchain's like, no, we're just gonna do whatever we want. It's cool. Like, you check for as many as you like.
Yeah, and again, it's like it's abstraction, and it depends how the model has been trained to do function calling. And so sense. Right, like some model might not support multiple tool calls at the same time.
I'm sure there's something under the hood too that if you wanted to tweak it, you probably could, or whatever. It's just interesting to note the differences.
Yeah. So one interesting thing here, I don't know if you noticed, but in the output, when it's saying like, please run this tool, it's giving us the tool, the function name as a string.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I have no idea how to run a function just based on the string.
So in theory, you could create a hash map or a map of some kind.
So that's what I did last time I did function calling. Is I had these tools, and then I made a like tools dictionary.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable.
That was basically like.
Oh, would that work? Could you get metadata off the? Can you actually get the function name off the function if you're looking at?
All right, like this.
Is that does that work?
I don't actually know.
I'm gonna find out.
Does it? Should we try?
All right. I don't know what metadata is available of functions, but
I don't actually know what this dot name does.
Maybe there's a metadata attached to the function to be like, what's my name, and then like. I mean then.
Can we get a function name as a string? Oh, it is name, but it's like it's the
underscore name. Okay, which I think I've seen before is like metadata sort of stuff.
So so would this work?
I mean, you can print it, see what it shows up.
I am very curious now.
There you go.
Where did my terminal?
I mean, it's either that or doing like a big switch statement, which is like not great, but not terrible.
Oh, you mean instead of dictionary? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Oh,
there's some.
that's just complaining about my code. Because I see what happened. I have a 4 and then I'm not doing anything with it. Just comment that out. Easy.
Bum, bum.
Did you mean okay? Well, I don't want to spend too much time on that, so I'm just gonna do the manual dictionary I wanted to do,
That works.
which is this.
Let's check whether. There we go.
That's
of course, you don't necessarily know what the arguments are, and there's all kinds of fun stuff in there. So yeah, or having a switch statement is just easier.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's start with this and see where we go.
Okay, that's fine. A simple solution is always good too.
Oh wait, no, I want to keep that. That's not what I want to do. Okay, so for each tool, we want to figure out what tool has been selected, which is based on this tools dictionary, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be the tool call, and it's just name. That should be it.
Okay.
And then, so we know which now. This
we're kind of. It sounds like we're kind of assuming that like every tool is going to have only one argument or something, which I think is fine.
I think LangChain takes care of that actually.
Oh, show me.
Or not LangChain, but the Python. Sorry, Python.
Ooh, tell me even more.
So right. So this is just a dictionary of string mapping to function definitions.
Yep.
Right? And so this is going to be the function definition that we want to call. And so it's going to have an output.
Cool.
And we can do this.
Ooh.
With tool call with the args.
Okay.
Yeah, and this
there's got to be a way of getting a name out of a function. That's.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then you can make it more generic, right? Because then you don't have to worry about hard coding. Anyway, and so we have the response from the tool, and then we want to add it as a tool message. There's no add tool message, which pains me unless they added that recently. But when I looked into it, there's a add AI message and there's an add user message, which are just abstractions around add message, or sorry, they're just wrappers around add message.
Yeah.
But there's no add tool message, which I feel like there should be. But so what we can do is just use the generic add message and just call it a tool message.
Got it.
And tool message is a thing. So we need the output, and we need the call ID.
My dog just visited.
Hi, dog.
She has cardboard. She's pretty happy.
So we need the ID. So if you notice from the output, when it asked for a tool, it had a like call ID, and that's just like a unique ID over that particular call. And the reason why is because some models might support, like I was saying, multiple function calls, but it might request for multiple of the same function called multiple times. For example, if you ask like, what's the weather in Toronto and San Francisco?
Yep.
It will return with call these two tools, but it's the same tool with different arguments. And so how do you differentiate which output is linked to which request? And we have this.
You have like an ID.
This ID, and this is provided by LangChain. LangChain takes care of this.
Got it
For us. So it provides an ID, and so we just have to make sure like when we add it as a history message, this is a tool
Yep.
message. We're like, this output is a link to this ID that you requested, and then it does all the magic behind.
And then does it for you.
And I think we're almost done. So we're invoking the tool. We're just adding it to the history as a tool message, and then we just have to we have to talk to the LLM again, right? And so I guess we can just overwrite this. Don't do this in prod. But we have our chain, and then we just invoke it again over the same history messages, but this time there's tool output added to this. And then we add this content, and then we can return it. And I think this is all. Okay, so let me.
Let's see how we go.
Let me walk back through this. So because this was like a little bit of chocolate code added, right? So now when we do this post request, we get the user message, add it to the history, then we invoke the chain, the LLM chain, over that history, and then we'll get a response. If that response didn't need any tool calls, then we're just going to return it as is. If it did, we're going to iterate over all the tools. We're going to find, which string maps to which tool. There might be a cleaner way of doing that, but and then we're going to call it. We're going to invoke it with the args that are needed, and then we're going to just add it to the history as a tool message. And then at the end, once we've processed all the tools, we just invoke the chain again, and then that's what we return at the end.
Okay.
And
if this works, we'll be right on time.
And this works, then we got function calling working. Just not on GKE, like we were saying.
This could be deployed. It's fine. Then we're just containerizing and doing.
And then we just containerize it. Easy, right? And okay, I just want to make sure that I'm like, should I just like print history? But let's see if
it works.
Let's run it and see what happens. And then if we run into issues, that's where we start troubleshooting.
Live stream just feels like a really, really, really long coding interview.
Whoa, hold up. Is
that not just your printing? No, that was just you printing stuff out. We were doing a debug, remember?
Oh, it was. You're right.
Yeah.
I did have a print this. Yeah. Okay, it's printing my dictionary. I was like, that seems strange. What's going on here? Okay, is this the moment of truth? What's the weather in Toronto? We get an internal error.
Why do we get
and then we see what the error is.
Tool message is not defined.
I forgot to import it.
See? Untyped languages, man.
Okay, we have tool, and then it's LinkedIn. What is it? Core.messages. Tool message. Okay, let's try again. Take two.
I believe in you.
Run. And then we wait. And it's running. And then what's the weather in Toronto? Okay, another message.
So I will do this. Message name is empty. Cannot find corresponding tool.
Hold up. Where? Generate. I'm trying to find the
which line it does.
Yeah, like which which of my line, which of the thing I wrote. Here. This chain 79. Okay, the second time it talks to. Okay. And then it's saying message name is empty for this. And then we see if I made an error somewhere. We have the tool output.
Message name is empty.
All right, let me look what I did last time I did this.
Can't find corresponding tool call.
Tool message, add message. History add message, yeah. And then output, and then tool call ID, and tool call. Okay, this seems right. And like that tool invoke. This seems right too. Good so far. Well, you know what we can do in those situations? We just start printing stuff.
Now, is that... Okay, because it's definitely at that line where we call it again. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was the line that the second invocation.
It's the second invocation because there's no corresponding. Why can't it find this tool call?
Well, I'm gonna print what my message looks like, and we'll see if there's something weird with it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
So let's start again. Cap.
Yeah.
Error. We go here. Okay, that's just a crash. But if we go up, oh, wait, where are my prints? I added prints, right? Did I not save?
You did, but like, let's double check which line it is that's failing on.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it did print. Okay, hold up.
Okay.
So this is a user message. What's the weather? Then the hold up. Oh, I know what happened. The tool invocation crashed, I think.
Oh, object has no attribute get. Ah. Yeah, okay, got it.
And so it was complaining about an empty message. I think it's an empty output of the tool.
Yeah, we might want to say when you've got that print E, you might want to put a prefix on it just so you can like identify that that's...
Oh, what if, so instead of returning an empty message, what if I enter could not find weather? And I'm wondering if you do
also
that.
I would say on line 25, I would put like a warning or error or like something contextual for that, so that if you look at the log line, you're like, oh, I know exactly where it's coming from.
I see. Tool crashed. Or tool did not work, and in a sad face. Okay, so this get is wrong, I guess, because it just told me could not get a get, right? That's what.
Yeah, we also don't know what the city name that went through came
in.
But anyway.
I know what the issue is. It is request with an S. I even like I had an S initially, and I was like, no, there's no S, right? And I removed.
Oh, I see. And yeah. So okay. So you get a runtime error because it's like, oh, I can't find it.
I'm surprised it didn't complain when it like compiled. Well, there's no Python.
Let's see if that works now.
Okay, this should be good.
I believe in you.
Okay, run, and then we wait, and then it runs, and then what's the weather in Toronto?
And it waves.
That's a little bit better because it didn't crash.
Didn't crash.
Oh, it didn't ask for a tool somehow.
Ooh, that's weird.
Which is why it just returned that, right?
What's the current weather?
Current weather. And that's
at least it failed.
Message name MD. Okay, let's go back up.
Tool did not work.
Okay, no, we're getting a 503 now.
Did we check to see if that URL actually works?
No. Let me open this. Okay, hold up. Did I get the right URL? This is it, right? Oh.
No, the whole thing's down.
But this was working earlier this morning when I was looking at this tool.
That's genuinely funny.
Um,
I was actually sitting here and I was like, maybe we should check it. And I was like, maybe we should just have a look and see if the URL works. But it's like, nah, it's probably fine. It's
That's
probably
kind of
just
sad,
fine.
actually. I was so excited to. Okay, let's see quickly if there's another like no like. What about this US
I've
Twitter
done this one.
API?
This is a pain.
Oh, this looks like a pain.
Yeah, I've done it. It's
I'm
like
not
you have to
interested
look up. You
anymore.
have to look up the like the lang lot and like longitude up longitude. It's a lot of work.
What is this? Try the API. Is this
Yeah, I
simple?
think you need a key.
Is it?
I remember going through a bunch of this stuff. Oh my gosh.
There's no key. It's just this is just a lot to parse.
You know, we could do like just for the sake of live stream, we could just fake it. Just be like, here's data.
Here's data. Man, I like you mean like we just return
well, like fake adjacents.
We just return this.
Yeah, just return that exactly.
I'm so sad. I want to
scroll down for a sec. Scroll down for a sec. What about that? What's that Netlify thing?
Well, that's the thing that wasn't working right. Oh, wait. Oh, hold up.
Same problem.
You know what it probably does? I think it just says loading, right?
Yeah.
It's probably trying to ping that API that's down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny because it was working this morning.
There was something on the right hand side. I'm just wondering if there's like a different URL that actually. You scroll up. Keep going. Oh, at the top on the right hand side. That one. Go weather. Yeah, is that the same one?
No,
it's the same one. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Well, that's sad. Technically, we could build it, run it locally.
Yeah. I think.
But let's see. Let's just to have something that works. Let's.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny though.
Is there a good way to take a JSON chunk and just transform it into a string? Can I ask Gemini to do that?
Well, why don't you just return the string as a multi-line string?
Oh, wait, you're right. I can do that. Huh.
Don't make it too complicated.
I'm doing Python. This is a very Python thing. Like you can't do that in most languages, so I just kind of forget. Okay, so
we'll comment out.
The tool doesn't work. We're going to return.
Oh, I like it. Then we're gonna spit back.
No, because it's going to tell. I think it's going to tell LangChain that the tool didn't have any.
Oh, then I think just comment out the request, and
I'm just gonna comment this.
Yeah, and we'll
and I'm gonna return. Whoops. And I'm gonna return. That was weird. This.
Yeah.
It's just always 29 degrees.
Always 29 degrees and partly cloudy.
Okay. Okay, let's try that. I love coding live. This is great. Should do this more often. Okay. Refresh. No, I don't want a new tab. I want to refresh. What's the weather in Toronto? What's the weather currently in Toronto? No, you know what happened?
What's that?
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe it didn't. It
still didn't think it was a.
Okay, it's an error. What is the error?
What is the error now?
No, what do you mean message of that?
It's the same error.
Well, it can't.
It hates you.
Look. This is the response.
That's the response.
JSON.
Cool. But you're still getting that whole like tool thing. There's something missing somewhere.
Content. Okay, that's it. Asking me for tools, and then I invoke it, and then I add that. Oh no! Hold up. Am I missing the adding to the history that I want?
You added.
No, I added here. Okay.
So there's that one.
Because we need to keep track of the tool IDs, so we need to add this.
Oh, I see. Do you need to add a tool message there if you get back a response as a tool message? Or
No,
you've got another.
it's just gonna be, well, I'm just, and maybe that's a bad idea, but I'm just overwriting my AI message. Should I not do that?
I genuinely don't know, to be honest.
I'm just gonna call it AI message 2.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering if it did a pass by reference instead of pass by value, and me overwriting this is messing up the history.
Okay.
That's a guess. I'm not sure if that's the right guess, but
Yeah.
you know, who knows? Let's see. Okay, running. What's the current weather? Please work. No, I don't know why the first one always fails. What's the weather currently in Toronto? Fail.
No, still hates you. Still can't find that corresponding to like whatever it is.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Because I'm returning. This is the thing, and then I have a tool ID.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Right. I'm saying like this output ID. These two things match together. But then the message name can't find corresponding.
What message name is empty?
I don't know why there's a $sign here.
With tool message, do you need to like sort of specify where it came from, or?
Well, I do in the sense that I this is where it came from, right? It came from that ID.
Okay, and that tool ID, those tool IDs match up from what we see in the history and what we have there.
Mm-hmm.
They're both like 76C 1212. Like those are the same values.
Oops. Yep.
76C. Yep. Okay.
So we're getting somewhere. Failure. Parse chat history. Gemini. Could be a Gemini thing. I don't want to blame it to Gemini. I think it's my code.
Message name is empty.
Add message. It's a tool message.
Parse chat history. There's no like message.
No output is the output.
Right.
And
I have no idea.
We're invoking it over the messages as we did here. It's actually just the same. It's the same code twice. We're just invoking it again, but it's containing, I assume, based on this tool message. It's like, whoa, what is this?
You've got me looking how I did this manually.
Tool message LangChain. Let's see. Right. It's a content and a tool call ID.
Content? Do we have to specify content specifically?
I wonder if I have to specify content. I mean, let's see if what if I specify that content? Who knows? Where am I? Here. Content? Is this?
Oh, I see how I did this. Okay, yeah.
Does this do anything?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. No. It
I know
still
what
doesn't
that
like it.
is.
Interesting.
Tool call is none. I'm actually looking at the source code because apparently it shows up. But
Oh.
it feels like it's something to do with the ordering. Is it? Oh wait. Hold on. No. All right. So you've added the tool previously. You added like it's the last one.
I'm actually a little bit concerned about this line. Because this is supposed to be. Oh, we know. This is supposed to have
A function call in it.
tool calls. Oh, is it just? Oh no, I think Oh no, it won't have the tool. Oh, that might be an issue. Whoa! Oh, hold up. Is it because when I add this AI message to the history, I'm adding the dot content? But what if dot content doesn't have the tool calls in it?
Right.
So then it forgets about it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I have no idea.
Look. What if I do this? Let's try that. Okay. I think I got it.
Oh, you want the whole object, right? Like
when
you want
we
the whole.
invoke this, it returns, the wave or whatever, but then it also returns, call these tools.
Yeah.
But the calls these tools is not part of dot content. It's
It's part of
dot,
part of the entire
dot
message. Yep.
tool calls. And so I think I wasn't adding that to the history. I was just adding, the wave. And so when we call this tool and then we invoked it again, the invocation found the tool message, but couldn't link it to any call that was needed because I was just dropping it.
All right, let's see if this works.
That's my guess, and we're gonna try.
It's a good guess.
What's the weather in Toronto? Please use tools if possible.
Hey, there we go. Well done.
It worked.
Okay.
It worked. So what happened in the background? It called our.
Yep.
It did call our check weather, which just outputs in hard-coded string.
Yep.
That says it's 29 degrees, windy, partly cloudy, and that's what we got here. Sunny, partly cloudy. I guess that's supposed to represent wind. That last one, and this is hot.
Hot or like warmish, I guess. Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And then it calls its tool, and then it checks back with Gemini, and then Gemini uses the system prompt to do this.
Perfect.
Let's see, just for fun, if this is back up.
Bet it's not.
It is.
Oh, it is? I wonder if it like you just hit it too many times. And so it fell over.
Maybe. Let's try. Oh, this is so funny. Okay, let's remove this hard-coded
Or just comment that out
thing and put this back up.
And you want to try it again. I bet you hit a rate limit on it or something.
I love my job. Okay, let's run this. Okay. Now, if we ask the weather in Toronto, please use tools. This shouldn't be necessary. I think I just need to tweak my system prompt. But
okay.
It should return maybe snow or cold or something like that. It was snowing earlier. I'm not in Toronto, but it was snowing earlier.
It's like, what?
Okay, what happened here?
Did it fail? Did it just fail? Not found. You see
Not
that?
found.
Client error, not found for URL. Go on, click it.
Really?
Not found. Just says
Really?
not found.
Is it because of the capital letter?
Yes.
No.
No. Doesn't know what Toronto is.
What? It was work. It doesn't know what Toronto is.
Doesn't know what Toronto is.
You know, it'd be funny. Like, this is
It's like
being,
hard coded. It's just
like,
hard coded
well,
to
no,
like.
like this is being like worked on like this very moment, and this is why it's like. What about
Sydney.
Wow, Sydney.
That's with a Y.
Wait, what's Sydney with an I?
I have no idea.
It's a real city, apparently.
Apparently.
Wait, like this?
Yeah. I was gonna try Melbourne, but that works too.
Okay.
Oh, I think it did the same thing.
Temperature plus 22. I want a place that's cold. What about Oslo?
Nope. Stockholm? No. No European cities for you.
That's so
Berlin.
funny. Okay, well, let's. Okay, it has it. What about Sydney?
There we go. And that's pretty cool. It kept the context too, right? The context of the weather.
What about I guess we almost have to check if the city exists, I guess.
Here's somewhere called Berlin.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a place where it would output, like snowflakes or something like that.
Oh, where would it be snowing? Like Calgary or something.
Calgary.
There we go.
Partly 0 degrees. Okay. 0 degrees though, it's cold. Nice. What about Calgary? Yeah.
It's pretty chilly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's chilly. Is it cold? And was Sydney cold?
No, it's just warm. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I think the use only emoji was a great idea.
I think that was a great idea. I'm very happy that we came down to that. Yes.
Okay. Wow. We got function calling working. It's not running in GKE, but we could hypothetically running in GKE, and this whole application could be containerized, like you're saying, right?
Exactly. Cool. I know you need to go eat some food.
I need to go eat some food. It's 8:20 p.m.
Yeah. So that's great.
That's fine. I'll eat some food somewhere and then go home. But that was so much fun. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. We have one question here that I just which is like, where will I find the basics? Do you have somewhere where you like to throw people with like beginner content for this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so if, like function calling itself. So I'm doing launching here. How did I end up with so many tabs? I swear I only had like 2.
Would you start at like the LangChain docs, or where's a good place to start?
The LangChain does have a good function calling, tool function calling. It does have a good like tool calling page.
Nice.
Yeah, so see here, it even defines it like tool calling is the same as function calling. It does have a good starter of just like what it is.
Yeah.
How to get started with it, obviously in the context of LangChain. Other places, I'm just gonna close it.
I was actually gonna say the Google AI Studio.
Yeah, so that was my second one, which is if you do function calling, this one introduction. It's on the Vertex AI.
And look at that video.
But there's a introduction to function calling doc, which again goes in detail with like diagrams and everything of like, what is function calling? Why do you need it? How do you use it? There's even like a quick start using Gemini, which is what we just did. This doesn't use LangChain; it'll just use the Vertex API. The Vertex AI APIs directly. But it's exactly the same concept, and it ends with like a full working example, which is good. And so either of these 2 places would be good. If you're already in the LangChain environment, then they have this page. And if not, then you can go on the Vertex AI thing if you want to get started with Gemini, which does support function calling. Both Gemini Pro and Gemini Flash support it. What am I using here? Am I using Flash?
I think you're using Flash because it was pretty fast.
It is Flash, but Pro also supports function calling, so you can use either of the two model. Actually, I think there's a table at the start. Here, yeah, and then it tells you exactly. And then there's Gemini 2.0 that we just announced this morning.
Boom.
Which also supports function calling. Of course, it's in preview.
It's in preview right now.
I wonder if I could have used. I won't even try.
You know what? don't do it. You need to eat some food.
I do need to eat food. I feel like with these things, it's easy to fall into a rabbit hole of like, well, what if I do this? And then next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. and you need sleep.
No, that's fair enough.
Okay,
cool.
I need to find where you are. Oh, there you go. Okay, so this whole time I haven't actually been looking at you because, like I was saying, the setup that I had, right?
That's all right. I have a camera that's here, but my screen is here, so same.
Let me put. Oh no, I lost the window. There. Okay, now I can actually look at you, and I can stop sharing this. There you go.
Wonderful.
Okay,
all right,
I'm back.
Olivier. Before you wander off, anything you want to tell anybody, or like socials that people should follow you on, or anything like that people can just look you up on the internet and they'll find you?
Yeah, I do have a Blue Sky. It's Olivier, but spelled very funny. Let me show it. Let me put my screen back. So I do have a Blue Sky, and I'm not signed in. Of course. But it's spelled like my domain name.
Okay.
So my Blue Sky is this basically.
Lovely.
But yeah, Olivier, but like Canadian. Cool. Did I ever tell you that story? How I came up with this, Mark? I forget.
No, but I don't know if you want to now. That's up to you though.
But well, basically, so I was trying to find a good enough original handle for my more like professional places.
Yeah.
So that's not just a like a gamer tag that I made when I was 12.
Oh, I have a few of those floating around.
And I was trying to get just my name or something simple with my name, and obviously that's Olivier is taken everywhere.
Got it.
And so I was like, okay, well, how can I tweak it so that it's still simple but not taken? And I just spun up Olivier in my head a couple times, and I was like, what if I just turned it into like Olivier and then like A, like like the stereotypical Canadian like EH exclamation mark. And so it just turned into this.
Fantastic.
So the gist of it is like it's Olivier but Canadian.
Brilliant. All right, like I said,
so, yeah,
Olivier, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks to everyone who's been watching. Really appreciate you taking the time. Feel free to drop comments and stuff. We've got one more. If you're on this live and you're not watching this later date, we got one more to go. If you're watching this as a recording, then it's out again. We're going to be doing stuff next week. Since you're all watching live, I'll give you a preview because it does say surprise. We are bringing back Gen AI Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll have Olivier back, myself. I'll be actually playing for this time, and a few other people. So make sure, same bat time, same bat channel next week, and we'll be going on. All right, cool. Olivier, again, thank you so much.
Cool.
See you all later.
Thank you for inviting me. See you next week.